We're back here on NBC4 Sports Extra. You know, it's not all football, even though the big headline is, of course, Big Ten Media Days. We got some crew soccer to talk about as well. And, of course, to help me out, we bring in digital producer Orri Benatar.
Still technically football.
This is true. This is true. Kind of a tough stretch for the crew. 2-1 in these last 3 games, but it's 3 big games in the span of 8 days. 2 of those games were on the road. You have that Hell is Real matchup, big comeback, coming back 4-2 after allowing 2 goals in the opening 5 minutes. But then that letdown against Nashville, 3-0 at Nashville, a bounce back against DC United. What is your biggest takeaway from these last 3 games, Orri?
I think the fact that you have players that maybe were not as involved in the attack are actually producing now in the attack, getting goals and assists. You look at the DC United win on Saturday. You saw Gazdag score a penalty. Lapalainen got a goal. So that's really important that now you're starting to see a little bit more of a variety of players really getting the final end of the attack with a goal or an assist. It's not just Rossi. It's not just Russell Rowe. It's not maybe just Arfston with the assist. So having that variety in there, that's what you want out of a Wilfried Nancy team, and we've seen that before, even in the Cucho days and the Christian Ramirez days. Even though those guys were the talisman when they were on the field, others were getting involved. So seeing that now a little bit more helps. You saw that also with the Cincinnati win. I mean, what a comeback indeed. Columbus still owns FC Cincinnati when you really think about it. But I think the Nashville loss, I think you just pinpoint that to Nashville's just on an unbelievable run of form. I think they've lost maybe once or twice since late April. So they've just been on a crazy run. So you can't blame too much on a bad performance there when you're playing against a team that's been playing that well. But hey, 2 out of 3 here, and then
2 out of 3, not bad.
Got a game on Friday to close out this stretch of MLS regular season. So Crew still, it's Crew, Cincy, Union, Nashville, and Miami. It's those 5 teams in the East. They're in a tier of their own right now.
I agree completely. And if nothing else, we can just blame it on Patrick Schulte's beard, which is now gone, by the way. So that good thing for that. Hey, so Leagues Cup is coming up. This is the trophy that the Crew are looking to defend. However, it is a kind of a new format for this Leagues Cup. I looked at the format, and or you can explain it a bit more, but it seems like a mini Champions League-esque. You kind of have like a group stage a little bit, and then you got a knockout round. Yeah,
I think they did it a little bit better. They did have a group stage knockout round previously, but I think it's better now that the tournament has less teams. So in the first 2 years of the tournament, every club in MLS and Liga MX competed. Now it's all the Liga MX teams, which is 18, plus 18 MLS teams based on performance in the last Leagues Cup and MLS. The qualification criteria is very complex, so we won't explain that now. So very simply, here's the new format. So now every team is going to play 3 games in what's called the Phase 1 or League Phase, whatever. You play 3 teams from the opposite league. So the Crew will play Toluca, Puebla, and Club Leon from the Mexican League. Mexican League teams only play MLS teams. Then after those 3 games, it's regular points tallies like you would do in a regular season table for MLS or any other soccer league, except you can't draw on Leagues Cup. It goes straight to penalties, so you can get wins. You get 2 points for a penalty shootout win, and you still get a point in a penalty shootout loss. But then basically you pick the top 8 teams from each league in their own respective table. So all the MLS teams are ranked against each other. All the Mexican League teams are ranked against each other. The top...
It's kind of like a reseeding.
Yeah, it's actually top 4, not top 8. Let me correct myself. It's top 4 because you have 4 MLS teams and 4 Mexican League teams make it to the quarterfinals, and they are seeded against each other to now have opposite leagues still playing each other in the quarters, because the idea was condense the tournament to try and make it simpler, even though I messed up the explanation firsthand.
I mean, we'll reacquaint ourselves with it. But I mean, there's going to be a Phase 1 and then a Phase 2. Let's see if the Crew can make it to Phase 2, because this is a different looking team from last year. So Orri, let me, with about a minute, 30 seconds left, what do you think the Crew has to do? They've got a pretty tough opponent in this first phase.
Well, because it's similar to the new Champions League, it's not just about getting results. You also need to have good goal differential, because you're going to have a lot of teams finish with the same amount of points. So if the Crew wins 2 of their 3 games, maybe loses the 3rd game in regulation, they're only on 6 points, you might have 7 or 6 or 4 other MLS teams with the same amount of points. So if you win games, you got to pad the score, get goal differential. In a perfect world, if you're losing games, you're at least losing them on penalties, so you get a point out of it. But MLS and LigaMX really wanted to emphasize for this new format, have MLS and Mexican League teams play each other more against each other, because that's the whole point. We're getting the teaser of that with the All-Star game in Austin with Arston and Rossi there. Yeah, and that's what we had last year in Columbus, and LigaMX won 4-1. So it should be a fun tournament. It's going to take the whole month. It's a nice way to kind of ease our way into American football season. So it should be a lot of fun. So we'll see how the crew does.
Looking forward to it. All right, Orri Benatar, always appreciate the time to talk soccer. That will do it for this edition of NBC4 Sports Extra. I'm David DeGuzman. We will catch you next time.
Thanks for watching. For more NBC4, download the NBC4 streaming app. You'll get free 24/7 local programming streamed straight to your living room. Just search NBC4 Columbus on your Apple TV, Amazon Fire, or Roku.